What up, y'all? It's your boy Master Chudy out with another comic review. Today we'll be reviewing Hellbazer, primarily John Constantine. Um, my experience with John Constantine, I watched the Keanu Reeves movie. Surprise, surprise, I thought it was okay. I've watched the NBC show of Constantine that, got unfairly canceled. Hopefully one day it'll return. And I have watched him in Justice League Dark, which I thought was a pretty good movie. So, I haven't read a Constantine comic before. And I'm really thinking about, like, okay, let me try it out. Try a different genre than the usual heroes. So, let's get into it. First, we get, like, a pretty Instagram panel. This is Sarajevo in June 28th, 1914. And, it's a man with a gun and what he's about to do. So, you have a crowd here. And it would seem that Sarajevo is obviously the place where it triggered World War One. So, you have him running here, watching his quarry. And he's moving through the alley. And then Marid, which is the man's name here, gets stopped by a friend of his saying they can't let him, do this, which would be the assassination of the Archduke. And, he's saying, leave me. And he's like, no. And they're fighting, scuffling, saying, no, you have to. And then, Adnan's like, I can't let you stand by this. And he's like, why? Because we were shooting everything. And apparently he's like saying, and no matter how much you care, no matter how much humans need our guiding hand, you know I'm right, and you have to let him go. Meaning that he shouldn't kill him. I guess despite how bad he is, apparently, for what he's done. And then he's like saying, I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. But then it seems that somebody else shot him, which was the original dude, which is funny if I'm to take it to the down. But yeah, somebody has already shot him. So it just goes into the exposition, pretty much at 10:45, 28th of June, a.m. 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand is shot and killed by Serbian national assassin, and then triggered a chain of events which known as World War One. Then giving some statistics. Then talking about 15 years later, after World War One, Hitler's rise to power, yada yada yada, and everything like that. Interesting. You don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm guessing like this is for future disposition as the time goes by. So we go back to South London, present day, where John and Chaz and my first introduction was Chaz from a TV show. Chaz has always been a pretty cool dude, and apparently John Constantine is being John Constantine. Sleeping naked, had a rough night, drank a lot, you know, everything like that. And everything like that. So he's just pretty much drunk. Trying to get to understand this chapter. So apparently Chaz has a meeting. And so then he's like, I guess, they're just doing exposition and everything like that. And John is wearing his jacket, still nude, and everything like that. I do like the buddy type of relationship that John and Chaz have. It's pretty cool and everything like that within the realm of this comic and everything. So they're doing it, and apparently they go to a greenhouse, and here we have Swamp Thing apparently, and he needs a favor. He's like, I believe you owe me a favor. So it's not that he needs it; he's collecting it, as he says, "Yeah, I'm here to collect." And he's like, Charles, keep this sucker tool as close by. Not really my good best Constantine accent. So they go into a car. Apparently, John's taking him somewhere, and you know, and miss out on quality time and everything like that. So apparently, John is explaining what type of favor he owes him, So apparently, this was back in New York City where this is a young looking John. And, he's out here purchasing, and then, apparently the Swamp Thing needs to talk with him. In the produce section, which I think is funny because it's always been John Constantine has always had these run-ins with whether they're his supernatural associates, enemies, or neutrals that just want to talk to him in the most unsettling sort of ways. So apparently we hear no more jokes, Constantine. So no, I figured that you've gone through enough of the trouble to ask me if all people favors. It's like it's Abby, and it's like, oh, and apparently it's like it's like it seems to explain that Swamp Thing somehow used Constantine's body to make love to his wife or something like that. And he's like, I have no need to use your body in that way. And John's like skeptical, really? Like, really like, yes, that's how I hear. And he's like saying, that was degrading. As that was, you are a mate and everything. And he's like, as degrading as that was, man, and you need my body to make love to your wife and everything that I'll be willing to do. So I say, no, we're not using Is that for the last time? I don't want your body to have sex. He's like, well, if you're sure. If you're sure. And apparently, what he's saying is that Abby is gone. And he's like, Constantine in his cynical way, it's like, of course he's gone. She's like, he said there's a mutual parting of ways. It's like, you're both free to see people, vegetables, and whatever. I hate to break it to you, but Abby's living the young, single-free life, single in the rot. It's like a club made for the compost down there. That's just it. Abby's not in the rot. And nothing says love like a bit of stalking. And he's like, I wasn't stalking. I was concerned. As I tried telling that to a judge. I wish I could somehow mimic Constantine's good old accent. It just works. Like, you could have put this in a potential season 2 with a good actor who could act Constantine. His name's not coming up to me, but it would have been nice. So apparently he's searched everywhere, but he can't find any trace of his former, I guess, lover. And he wants Constantine to find out. And of course, he's asking, "What do you want? What do?" And Swamp Thing's like, "Okay, what do you want in return?" And Constantine's like, "Who says I want anything?" And then he's like, "You always want something." And apparently, John wants to help getting back into London. And he's like, "What about the curse?" So don't worry about the curse. I'll take care of that. So it appears like John is been cursed that he might not have been able to return to London, or he might die as he steps foot in London. Not sure. And he's pretty much asking like about how good he is in with the graces of the Justice League, because if he needs a good word, and he wants Swamp Thing to tell him. And Swamp Thing is like, you want me to lie to the Justice League? And pretty much like, Constantine, you're not a good person. And he's like, chill, man. It's not really lying. It's more of pruning the truth, which I think is good. Constantine's demeanor has always been hilarious to me. So apparently, back to here and now. Swamp Thing had to keep his word and apparently Swamp Thing, after that, he kept the Justice League from messing with John Constantine. Basically, they're like, we'll leave him alone. And now here's where John is keeping the end of his bargain about helping him find his wife. So apparently, Swamp Thing handled the service first. By allowing him to get within at least not per se the good graces of the Justice League, but pretty much off the radar and letting him do as he pleases. So they drive up to a random cottage, and of course, considering that if this person is an associate of Constantine, it means that they left on bad terms, as per usual. And of course, Swamp Thing is saying, man, I thought she was an old friend. And Mercury, being her name, is like, what position? You left me in a horrible position. You put me in control of all these souls of London. 8 million Londoners. And he was like, I was going to explain it to you, but you left in such a hurry. And he's like, how's your mother? And, she doesn't take kindly to that. And, there's pretty much this back and forth about, how John Constantine wasn't as truthful as he should have been, and so on and so forth, which is usually the operandi of John Constantine whenever he's meeting a former associate that they left on bad terms with. And she's like, and this quote that she mentions, like, you're like a flame. You draw people in. All they want to do is get close to the great John Constantine, hoping for some of your rock star magician BS will rub off on them, and it never does. It isn't life that happens to your friends. It's pretty much you, which has been the theme even in the latest TV incarnation of him, which is like he always leaves a bad taste. And he's like, but you're just a kid, so you did all right by me. Because just like now, just like that stunt you pulled in Trafalgar Square, I was of some use to you. So it's like I was only good because I was useful to you. I pity anyone if they didn't have something you need. And God help any innocent children who get caught in your web. So definitely it wasn't good. Swamp Thing's like, yeah, maybe we should leave. It's like, keep your leaves on. And then she's like, who have you dragged in your BS this time? And he's like, well, that's far below the belt. And here we get Swamp Thing. And she's like, it's Swamp Thing. And she's like, oh, my life, is this whoever you think it is? It's like, and she's like, yeah, this is the reason why we're here. And John Constantine gives this great introduction, like Mercury, allow him to introduce the elemental avatar, the champion and protector of the green. And he's like, my friends call me Swamp Thing. And she's like, you can call me Mercury. Well. And you can see John is like, meh, what is this? So, like, old Swamp Boy here has some lady problems he needs a hand with. And she's like, I'll gladly help him. And I'm like, this look, it's like, well, man, what you trying to do for Swamp Thing, man? He wants to find his love or not. He doesn't want nothing with you. Well, we'll see. But she's like, and you can get out. You could basically get the hell out of here, basically. And he's like, And something's like, is it? Constance, is it okay leaving me here? He's like, yeah. It's like, good luck. My debts are paid. You enjoy. And, he's, doing some exposition to himself, And, he's having this good conversation. I mean, the dialogue has always been nice between John and maybe his friends that decide to stick with him as, best as they could. Because the man really has no friends. And, he keeps asking about what happened in New York, which is funny because in the TV show something terrible happened in London that involved a child. And, the same thing here is that Chaz is like, when you mentioned kids, he kind of reacted. And, in the TV show, why a lot of the people didn't like him back then was that they were involved in a ritual that cost the girl her soul. And everybody was messed up about it. And, it's implied that Constantine, even though he kept the hard exterior, was also messed up about it as well. So, we got John pondering, nude, again. Present day John. Classic John Constantine. And so we go back to present day Paris. And then here we see Adnan. And, of course, married. The two men who were, fighting over the squabble before somebody else shot the Archduke. So he's like, it's really me, Adnan. It's like 100 years is too long for brothers to be apart. But all those years ago, we were right to do what we did. That day, if I hadn't stopped you, then our existence would have surely been uncovered, and the Creator would not have rested until we were cast out for good this time. And, Marjorie's like, yes, you were right to stop me. You were right to do what you do. So I thank you. For 100 years, I've longed to hear those words from you, my brother. Oh, you're right, but just not for the reasons you think. Oh boy, here we go. He's like, by stopping me that summer at anniversary, you helped put in motion 100 years of human brutality. Yes, you're right, humans are weak. But if we are to survive our existence in their world, we must remain a secret from the Creator. Yes, of course, from the Creator. It's like, you still understand. Understand what? After what you helped start, slaughter, genocide, and barbarity on a scale never seen before in human history, do you really think that our own mighty Creator is paying attention to us? What we're doing? And, begins to strangle out his brother. He's like, man, you ruin everything, man. Humans don't need guidance. They need a strong hand, and that hand is us. And, of course, I believe he snaps his neck in the strangle, so we have it to be continued. So, honestly, this is, compared to the other number ones that I've read, this is definitely the least action oriented. It's meant to build up to what will happen in the later issues, which, maybe I will read into soon. Luckily, this is a very short issue, or the issues aren't as long. I think it's on issue number 12, so I might have time to get to it. Other than that, I think I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10, simply because, or I give it a 7 out of 10, simply because the story, the dialogue, while it's not bad, it kind of drags on a bit. The artwork I felt was pretty good, and the cover itself was pretty nice. Swamp Thing and every other associate, we have Constantine in the middle. I will say it makes Constantine look very menacing, but hey, Constantine is an inglorious bastard. So, tell me what you think of this. And once again, I'm here to review comics for y'all. If you have any suggestions, please leave them below in the comments section. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, as I want to build this channel to bring you quality reviews of entertainment. Thank you for watching, and I will see you around later.